Are we good? I think we're live now. We might actually be live. We might as should be live. What does that even mean? Sup, Shredders. My name is Logan, aka Spiderhands. Where is my YouTube channel here? View channel. Here we go. Oh, videos. Oh, where is it? Where is the song? Where is it? Here we go. Yay, it's playing. Got the song that I usually have at the start of these live streams going. Can I actually put them on that side? Yeah, there we go. There we are. Hopefully you're good. Hopefully you've been taking care of yourself. It is currently Tuesday, the 26th of November. Today, we are here to check out fan requests, or $5 song requests, where for just $5 via Ko-fi, you can get a song reviewed, or of your choice. It can be via your Spotify or YouTube or whatever. And if we switch over to here, we've got the track that I've got playing on the screen, Glow by SB Records. So that's one that I've put through. That's cool. But if we go to YouTube here, or just to Spotify, just if you've got a song you want done, we can handle it for you. We can review it. You just got to go through a link in the description, and then you're good to go, basically. Gonna make that big. QU. That's not great. Can we just get Q? Now, for people that have been asking me to schedule the streams, I have done so. The streams are scheduled for this week, so hopefully that will be fine. And yeah, we just wait, I suppose. We could do music news, I suppose. It is number 46 of these. I've just realized that those come up with that, so that's not ideal. Yeah, that's actually not ideal, is it? I'm gonna have to just test them. They're gonna have to be. I really should put them up the top. Hang on, let me just move some stuff on OBS real quick. Yeah, if I get you to, and I go, oh, up, and underneath. Yay! Good. Awesome. That's fine. Oh, this is Oshia-san. They're a New Zealand band. I was reviewing their track today, so that was quite cool. They're a great band. They know what they're doing. I'm looking forward to putting that review up on Thingamabobber. Art Noxon. Who is Art Noxon? Sup, Art? How are you today? Are you good? Yeah, okay, Art. Thank you for your request. Can you please go through the commissions tab next time? Can you please go through the commissions tab next time? I appreciate it. I'll review your song, but if you go through the commissions tab, there's a link in the description for this. If you go through that, you'll be able to get your song reviewed. It's in the description. It's in the description for this live stream. I'm gonna confirm it's here, just in case it isn't, and I've just been messing with people this entire time. But there should be a link to go through the commission thing directly, just for next time. It is. So if you go to the Ko-fi link, so if I go back here, so I've got the link that is currently in the description at the moment. Go here. It should take you to here. So see how this comes up when you go to the link? So when you use the Ko-fi link in the description, this should come up, and it says it's $5 here. If you tried to do this before the live stream opened, that's a deliberate thing. So the reason I don't have the commissions open all the time is because I don't want people putting through commissions unless there's a live stream, so that I can just get the commissions done during the live stream. You know what I mean? So we'll review your track, and thank you for putting it through. But just for next time, yeah. I specifically avoid having the queue open, because otherwise what will happen if I leave the queue open is that I will have people putting through requests in between, Yeah, if I have the queue open, what'll happen is that I'll have people put requests through during the week, and then what would happen is I just wouldn't be able to do anyone's stuff in real time. You know what I mean? Yeah, but thank you for it. It'll also be it'll be good. But yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so we've got thank you Art for this. I appreciate it. Thanks for your request. Yep, I am appreciative. So yeah, let's do it. So what do we got? Apparently, this is Zendi singing Flashlight with Jessie J. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm keen for that. Listening time. Okay, if this is through Smule, oh, it's on YouTube. Let's go. Where stars offer their hit songs with some parts devoid of vocals so that users can sing those parts as if singing a duet with the famous singer. Well, this sounds interesting. I'm looking forward to checking it out, so that should be good. Let's go. Let's do it. What do we got?
Let's sing together. Okay.
Is this like a popular app? Because I've seen some people do this kind of stuff on like TikTok with like duets and stuff like that. Is it quite different?
Tomorrow comes, I'll be my own. Feeling frightened of the things that I don't know. And tomorrow comes, tomorrow comes, tomorrow comes.
Great harmonies here.
Look up to the sky. In the dark I found, I still think I won't fly. And I sing along, I sing along, and I sing along. I got all I need, but I got you and I look around me and see a sweet place. Stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You're getting me through the night. Can't stop my heart, but you're shining in my eyes. In life, it's a sweet life. Stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You're getting me through the night. See my flashlight. You're my flashlight. You're my flashlight. Oh, see the shadows long beneath the mountain top. Not afraid when the rain won't stop. 'Cause you light the way. You light the way. Go, Chelsea. You light the way. I got all I need when I got you and I look around me and see a sweet flame. I'm stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You're getting me through the night. Can't stop my heart when you're shining in my eyes. Can't lie, it's a sweet life. I'm stuck in the dark, but you're my flashlight. You're getting me through the night. You're my flashlight. Okay, this is the part where you can either sing the chorus or you can go off and ad lib. Ready? Oh, you're my flashlight.
The music industry is in a really interesting place. It's really cool to see some musicians like Jessie J really trying to make the most. I mean, to be fair, this was 9 years ago, so it was a while ago. But still cool to hear musicians trying to connect with others, trying to sort of like encourage others to interact with them like this.
Done. Together. I'm a flashlight.
there's an innate amount of trust, I suppose, with Jessie J with whoever they're singing with, because you could have someone really kind of mess around and kind of make fun of the track with this duet. But I think Zendi in this duet was Jessie J and Zendi with Flashlight. I mean, like they did really well. I think that honestly they seemed like they were on an equal level. Zendi can clearly sing, and so can Jessie J. Their vocal technique is tight. The harmonies work together. They had their separate components as well. I think that they respected. They're like, how do I describe it? They sang in a way which made sense with a lot of the more sort of orchestral elements of the track there, and that kind of mid 2010s. Sup, Blue Dinner Box? How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. We're listening to Zendi and Jessie J with Flashlight. It was a very common style in the mid 2010s, this kind of strings and keys and drum and ballad-esque kind of thing. Like after The Greatest Showman, you know what I mean? After The Greatest Showman, they did a lot of this kind of stuff. And it works really well because you have the drama of the lyrics talking about how that person is your flashlight and how you're in the dark without them, and you know, like they're your way of getting out of there and kind of figuring out what's going around. You feel safe and secure with them, and the expression from the singer is kind of showing that warmth and care and love for whoever, you know, is that flashlight guiding them through the darkness seems palpable here. Both Jessie J and Zendi sounded like they were fully committing. Like you could imagine that the passion they show, it makes sense with that story. I think that there were points where it could have easily become more sort of self-serving rather than what would have potentially made the song better. So a concern for me with vocalists is that occasionally they'll be incredibly talented, and what will occur is they'll just sing all this stuff. They'll just sing all the stuff, and it will just kind of color the track in a way where it more seems like a speed run of their ability to be able to sing rather than you know, like kind of building the track up over time, allowing the other instruments to kind of sort of comprehend themselves in space. But I still think it was well handled. And they showed the chops off with that, allowing room for each other. They harmonized neatly. It was great. So the vocals were really well handled, really impressed with the way they operated things there. I think that the arrangement behind it was kind of, I'm not necessarily, I wasn't in love with the way that the song was written and produced. I didn't necessarily feel any emotional affiliation with it. The progression that we had chord-wise was a very common one. It's a very versatile one. It works in a lot of different situations. It typically induces this feeling of calm and serenity with the mixture of major and minor chords without any challenges of extensions or anything like that. I feel like any string parts with the chords there, any rises were sort of meant to let you know that you were transferring to the next part. So I think that was okay for sure. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a complaint about the way that they sing. Or the way that they've written the music, because the music is actually really well written. It's just more that I think the reason the vocals are such a focal point is because of the fact that you're kind of, there's nothing else that's challenging it in terms of leads or anything like that. You have dynamic range to it with the piano parts. They're not the same loudness all the time. And you have the drums and bass keeping a sense of groove and pace. But it is really Jessie J and Zendi carrying it. I think that, again, for the mood, the drama of it, the aesthetic they're trying to accomplish with this range of instruments, things tie together really neatly. This was a great time for them to sort of like show their abilities as musicians. I think they did that, accomplished that well. I think it was a smart track to use via Smule, as it allows for a lot of different vocal styles because it's not pushing too far one stylistically over another. And ultimately, yeah, I think that the studio recording, mixing, mastering, given it was people singing into a microphone, it's totally okay that it wasn't commercial grade, but I still feel like I got what I needed to from the track in a way that was meaningful. And yeah, I liked their vocal performances. And I think, just as a closing comment, the way that Jessie J was hyping up whoever was singing along with them was just just wonderful. I like the charisma and passion that Jessie J has for their music. It's awesome. So thank you to Art Noxon for putting this track through from an act named Jessie J, featuring Zendi as a duet via Smule titled Flashlight. That was good. Thank you for the and request much. Just sending a message via Ko-fi just so that people look at it and understand that I did the thing as well. But that was cool. So we did that. We reviewed some Jessie J. I'm wondering if Jessie J is still going. Is Jessie J still doing music? Have they taken a break? Blue Dinner Box, Art Nox, and do you guys know if Jessie J is still going? What is Jessie J doing? They are going. That's cool. That's cool. Why did Jessie J stop making music? Why did Jessie J stop making music? Going on to joke that she is now unemployed, Jessie added, "There's no negative spin, it's not dramatic. I just didn't feel right being signed, and it hasn't for years. So I need to stop just trusting my instincts and ask for them. So now I am unemployed." Jessie J sings Twinkle Twinkle to Baby Boy, tough crowd. So I think maybe they're a parent now. They're a parent now, and they're just trying to sort of like take care of the kid, be a mom, I suppose. When you have royalties like they would, I presume you could probably live off of that quite comfortably for a while. I'm not sure though. I feel like with the amount that Jessie J has released, they could probably be fine for quite a while. And that's awesome. Good on him. Honestly, they were really busy. Really busy throughout the 2010s. Suppose we should do some music news, eh? Has anything happened musically over the last few days? I'm sure it has, I just don't know. Alright. Okay, so what do we got? Shabuzi, what? Wow. Holy crap. Wow, really? Shabuzi celebrates making history as a bar song Tipsy spends 19th week at #1 on the Hot 100. What? No. No way has that song been top 1 for like 19 weeks. That is unbelievable. I am blown away by that. That's what people want. If you're wondering what it takes to be able to get to the top of the Hot 100 for 19 weeks, it's that you have to be able to write like a bar song Tipsy. It's a bar song Tipsy. Oh my goodness. No, do you know what it is? Like, for real. For real. It's claiming the same amount of weeks at the summit as Lil Nas X's Old Town Road featuring Billy Ray Cyrus, which previously held the longest reign in the chart's 66-year history. So it's country music. If you confuse pop music with country music, if you can fuse those two together, you've got yourself an absolute winning ticket, apparently. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Like, how many streams has that gotten? How many streams? See, that doesn't even seem like that much. Like, 929 million streams may seem like a lot, but it doesn't seem like that much because it's been like on the top for 19 weeks. Now, I know the song's been out for a longer period. Oh, to be fair, this has 1,040,000,000. So I guess that actually 950. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, clearly 930 million in the space of 7 months is very good. Like 930 million streams is just incredible. That is, how much is that? How much have they made off of 930 million streams? So if we can do this via the calculator that they have, this is a very kind of like, this is like a ballpark figure. How much have they made off of 930? 930. They've made $3 million. Let's say that he has a royalty deal where he only gets like 70. He's still made $2.2 million off of that. That's good. That's a good effort. Like, legitimately it is. I mean, I think that's really cool. It's just, what is special about that? What is it about it that makes that worth that amount of money? Is it just that people want to get drunk at a bar and they like the cowboy aesthetic, and it's kind of incorporating the hip hop and rap and country in a way where people kind of vibe with it? Is that the kind of thing that we're going for here? Because if that's the case, that's cool. Don't get me wrong. But yeah. His Hot 100 accomplishment is just the cherry on top of a massive month for the breakout star. He snagged 5 nominations for the 2025 Grammys, including Best Melodic Rap Performance for his Spaghetti duet with Beyonce and a bar song Tipsy. No, that's not real. It was recognized for the Best Country Solo Performance, Best Country Song, and Song of the Year. No. Nah, absolutely not. I don't have an issue with it being loved. I can't fathom how it's the best. How is it the best country song? I'm listening through it. We are listening through this track now. A bar song Tipsy. We are going to review this. I want to understand why it is so beloved.
Baby born a Birkin. She's been telling me all night long.
I tell you, man, like, this makes me sound like a real dick. It makes me sound like a real dick, but auto-tune would not have been a thing in country up until probably a decade ago. I mean, maybe it was, but it was a hell of a lot more subtle. And if you brought auto-tune into the conversation for country music, people would shit themselves. People would shit themselves if you mentioned auto-tune with stuff like country or metal or even rock 10 years ago.
Gasoline and groceries, the list goes on and on. It's 9 to 5 ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I'm gone. 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good lord. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history.
It's basically people celebrating drinking in order to avoid their problems. That's what the song is doing. Like, the guitar riff is it's a nice guitar riff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not doing the whole, it's bad because I don't like it, or it's different. I'm trying to understand why it's so successful, and immediately it just seems like it's a song which is trying to celebrate their country lifestyle. It's kind of romanticizing. It's romanticizing getting drunk and having problems and not solving them. And like it's effectively, it's just saying for the rest of our lives, we will get drunk and we will party even though we've got problems. We work hard and we lack the introspection and courage to be able to do anything about it. Any other genre, this will be challenged. Any other genre, this would be challenged. And I sound like I'm aware of how I sound, so I'm being careful about it. But like specifically with country music, I don't like how it romanticizes it to an extent. Like there are parts of rock and metal where it's worse and they celebrate like drugs. And I'm not like a prude. If you do drugs, you do you, I'm definitely no angel in that regard. But for this to be so successful with what it's discussing, it's like, I get that I'm probably taking it too seriously. Maybe. I don't know.
There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. I've been boozy since I left. I ain't changing for a check. Tell my mom I ain't forget. Woke up drunk at 10 a.m. We gon' do this shit again. Tell your girl to bring a friend.
Woke up drunk at 10 a.m. We gonna do this shit again. This song is basically
Oh Lord, 1. Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good Lord. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
I mean, it's nice to have the strings on the side, like the fiddle on the side. I think that the actual chord progression is nice. It's relaxing, and it definitely does seem authentic to the vibe of what country music is. It seems stylistically very coherent. It almost feels cynical to me. It's like I have to be very careful because it's going to sound like I'm gatekeeping a genre that I don't even necessarily have a lot of familiarity with. And I'm not saying for a moment that Shabuzi is the only one who is using auto-tune or whatever. And like, I don't even have an issue with auto-tune. It's just that it blows my mind because, again, like 10 to 15 years ago, if you had country musicians adding hip-hop and rap elements to their stuff, it would be just something people wouldn't consider. They wouldn't want to be a part of that,
Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. When it's last call and they kick us out the door. It's getting kinda late, but the ladies want some more. Oh my, good Lord. Tell them drink some. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. At the bottom of a bottle, don't miss me. Everybody
Thank you, Arash. I appreciate it, by the way. We're definitely going to have a look at it in a moment. The Grammys haven't been a serious thing in decades in my book. It's all manipulated, in my opinion. By the way, if you did, my Gmail is just updated because apparently it's silly and doesn't update. So I apologize if you've requested a track a few minutes ago. I've just found it. Okay. Really quickly. So a bar song Tipsy is about someone having issues and getting drunk and just wanting to party with everyone and just getting drunk more and more. And it's basically celebrating alcoholism. And that is the top song in the Hot 100 at this point in time, and it has been for 19 weeks. So if you're wondering about the social climate that we have in this day and age, that's basically what it is. That's what people are wanting to hear. That's what they're wanting to do. Because, to be fair, it is much easier to just drink and get drunk and figure your problems than it is to try and solve them. And it's also worth noting that it's complicated, and clearly there is stuff that is more difficult to solve than just being like, fix it, right? Don't get me wrong. But I feel like the vocal style is personable, the melodies make sense. The crowd sing along. It's probably, encourages people in real life to sing along. It sounds like a track you can listen with your friends together. That's totally fine. It makes sense from like a vocal perspective. There's nothing revolutionary about it. I think, honestly, the auto-tune does help the vocals to stand out a little bit. And amongst the more analog elements, the chord progressions on the guitar within this track makes sense. There's some interesting sus and major minor chords. It kind of reminds me of some of the progressions from Oasis in the 90s. The bass line is there. The drum, I think there's an 808 potentially, but if not, like just a bass guitar. The drums with some brushes, again, to suit the country aesthetic. The fiddles on the sides playing some cooler response melodies and harmonies to sort of like accentuate those progressions further and to have a bit of flair and color within the mix. The structure of the track is fairly straightforward. There's verses and choruses, and you had an interlude where you clapped our middle eight, and then that was cool. He clapped our middle eye. That's not great. That is not great work captions. I'm not happy about that. And yeah, the production's solid. Don't get me wrong. It's a really well-produced track, and the vocals work, and musically it's fine, and I understand why people enjoy it. And it's, yeah. It makes sense. It's fine. Moving on. Moving on. Why? Dude, why are you being silly? Oh, far out. No, come on. Fucking hell, Kofi. What are you doing? No, bro. Open the commissions. What? The commissions aren't open? Did that go through there? Oh, man. Okay. Why, Kofi? Why? Sorry, guys. I'm just having an argument with Kofi. It makes me very angry. You have a system that's meant to work, and it doesn't. So if you guys have been having... We'll get the requests done. We have two. I'm sorry if you've tried to go through the link. Yeah, fuck. Okay, moving on. This is from Orash. Thanks for your request. Kofi. Fucking piece of shit. All right, moving on. Barefoot Vengeance. She's my daddy. There we go. What does Orash have for us today? Okay. She's My Daddy, new satirical song, 2024. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Orash, what do we got?
You're going to do this again. I don't want you to get hurt.
Look, Gertrude, the only thing that's going to hurt me is the pain and regret I'll have if I don't do this right here, right now.
But you said last night.
Last night I said a lot of things. Might have been the mood or the prune juice speaking. But all I know is that this needs to be done right here,
But tonight, this is all we have. Tonight, I have something for you. You need it more than me.
Well, here's looking at you, kid.
I feel like the actual Foley and the work done with the cinematics is really tight.
She's not my biological father. Oh no. But I still like to call her my. I've been steady speaking with the kind of gal makes my father wanna meet her, and she makes my mom proud. Please take a seat, my mind you run miles. Only way I'll watch you cries while we're down wedding aisles. I've been steady speaking with the kind of gal makes me wonder how I got her. I love her style, from the tips of her feet, thighs, them eyes. The way Bay moves got me paralyzed. Let me see my love machine charging miles. Driving down the highway and I'm dialing your dials. S to the L, why you must be the Ren, cause I love his magic, baby, we be slithering. Let me see my love machine charging miles. Driving down the highway and I'm dialing your dials. S to the L, why you must be the Ren, cause I love his magic, baby, we be slithering. That's my baby, she my dog, yeah. That's my sister, oops, don't have one. That's my lady, she my honey. She's my daddy, she my boo. That's my baby, she my dog, yeah. That's my sister, oops, don't have one. That's my lady, she my honey. She's my daddy, she my boo. Hey, don't call me Frugal Man, I'll go by the pricey brand. Ice cream when we go to shop, the two of us are holding hands. See eye to eye, nose bland, all my ninja sand brothers. Take a knee, homies, watch your hands. I'm not building bricks and bricks, I'm working the electric shift. I like to mix my work and life and work at home. Catch my drift, I like working with pipes, spin and pull a bit. But I'm gonna go and put a bed, pregnant's what I'm gonna get. Hold up. What? Just for the record, she marks the markers in the checkbox checker. I'm locked in this box, my boxes are leopard. If you dare wear Crocs, my short is then tempered. Just kidding, babe, I just want paid. Last two checks on a massive flex laxatives. Cause I know you waited and dated dad's name David. So I got you an affidavit after David. That's my baby, she my dog, yeah. That's my sister, oops, don't have one. That's my lady, she my honey. She's my daddy, she my boo. That's my baby, she my dog, yeah. That's my sister, oops, don't have one. That's my lady, she my honey. She's my daddy, she my boo.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know how to approach this. The main takeaway I get from this track, from Barefoot Vengeance titled She's My Daddy, is that it's meant to be like,
We're going to do this again. I don't want you to get hurt.
Look, Gertrude, the only thing that's gonna hurt me is the pain and regret I'll have if I don't do this right here.
so is this basically talking about him needing to make this kind of like a declaration of how he feels about her? And at the end of it, because he's been able to say that she's his daddy, that was the last thing she needed, and then she passed away about after that. Is that what we're getting at here? I think that's it. I think it's like, because don't get me wrong, like I think that it's really well directed. The music video is awesome. I like bit of what's happening here. I think you'd need a few times through it to kind of really sort of like get the vibe of it. On a first view basis, I feel like that part at the end where she dies after you say daddy is inferring that was the last thing she needed before she passed away. Just a younger guy to kind of tell her what he'd do to her, how he feels about how he feels about her and stuff like that. I think that as a story is cool. I think that clearly there's been a lot of thought into trying to make something original as well, which I really appreciate. I have never seen something like this, and I think that's great. I appreciate that we're not trying to walk in and just have a traditional love song, because there's just so many of those that exist that you're just not going to get anywhere, honestly, unless you try an alternative. I think that the rapping is great. The wordplay is tight. Yeah, see, I haven't seen Citizen Kane or Casablanca. I know I've seen like the scene, but I just don't get the reference. I'm either too like sheltered, or I'm just like just not worldly enough to get that. But I think that the rapping is really tight. I like how smooth it is. The wordplay, the way the words come through really clearly is well handled. I think that maintaining that sense of being the focal point the entire time was a smart move. Having the Casablanca reference at the start and then at the end was kind of dope as well, to kind of tie it in on either side. I think that the length of the track worked really neatly. The yeah, like
Kind of gal makes me wonder how I got.
I think that the keys, the sparkly, twinkly keys with the neat little kind of bright melodies on top, were a refreshing mix. The drums sounded incredibly fresh as well. They had a nice tight tone to them. The way kind of things bounced around was really fantastic. I enjoyed what was going on in regards to the different 8th and 16th note grooves that you had on the hi-hats as well. That was really sick. You weren't sort of sleeping on the percussion, and the way that it coincided with the dancing of the people in the background as well, and you tied the actual words to the rhythm of the 16th hi-hats was really dope. I think the bass line was really funky as well. It didn't stick totally with the drums the entire time, which I feel gave it its own sense of identity within the mix, but it was niched nicely underneath any of those sort of higher leads. And just really quickly,
Read my mind, you on my baby. She my dog. I'm building bricks and bricks. I'm working the checkbox checker.
there was like a sense of emptiness there where I think we weren't trying to color the sides too much. Yeah, and like the stuff about the affidavit after David wordplay. I also don't know what an affidavit is. I feel so stupid right now, and I hate feeling stupid. There were just certain things in the song where I just felt it's not a complaint against the song. It's just I don't know what an affidavit is. So for me, I think if you have people that are maybe better with words or whatever, they're going to hear this and they're going to appreciate the wordplay further. But ultimately, just the way you had those little kind of mid-rangey stuff so on side of the arpeggios you had on top, etc., they were good. Yeah, a statement, an affidavit. Oh, it's like an affidavit, like from a police cop or something like that, right? Like you have an affidavit, like a statement on it, and like that's your official opinion on it, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what we're kind of getting at here? Either way, the theme itself was meant. It seems quite different to the filming that you had at the start or finish. I feel like you could have potentially had. I feel like you could have had more of a kind of an old timer kind of vinylish kind of like element in the track to kind of tie together the Casablanca thing at the start. But aside from that, just to kind of help sort of like orally kind of to for the old school things. But aside from that, thank you, Art, by the way. I appreciate that. Thematically, yeah, it was just meant to sound slick and cool, and it worked well with the dancing and the vision you had for the video. And yeah, I get it. We're trying to establish our own style, have that kind of satirical perspective on it. Not instrumentally overcomplicated. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering I thought was quite tight. The vocals, the different synth patterns, stuff, the keys on top, the lead arpeggios, the bass and drums were well rounded. And just there was dynamic range to it. Again, the use of Foley and the cinematic parts of this as well niched well with the main motif, and nice and loud without bumping. Really happy with it. Good. I would want more times to listen through this to have like a more educated opinion on it, but I nonetheless appreciated the chance to hear it. Thank you to Arash for this. Arash and Barefoot Vengeance, she's my daddy. Yeah, I'd recommend it. It's just, yeah, multiple listens, but that was still cool. Now, again, I want to apologize. I'm just going to double check. Are the commissions actually open now, or are they being silly? The commissions are open. They are good. So I am sorry, actually, to Art. I'm sorry, Art. I actually think that there might have been more than one thing that you could open in Ko-fi, and I opened the wrong thing, because that's why multiple people have put it through that way. So I'm sorry for that. But definitely, if you want to put through a commission now, you should be able to. I'm aware that some people probably have like found the commissions are closed and not bothered to put stuff through, which is totally reasonable. So I'll just have to be more careful about that next time. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm frustrated by that, but it's just something I have to work on in future and just be more onto it, I suppose. But we've got one more from Rufo. Rufo. And you're welcome, Arash Hoshangi. You're welcome. If you're happy with the live stream reviews, definitely go through the live stream. If you want more detailed, specific videos, like if you want dedicated videos, you can also go through Fiverr for those. Fiverr, you can get like a video for your actual track, like a dedicated one with like an extensive conclusion and stuff. But the live streams are good too. There we go. Cool. So we'll fix that now. And Rufo, where is your track, Rufo? Boop. Okay, let's go, man. What has Rufo got for us today? Oh, this is Isha's song from Isan Chan. Okay. Let's go. Let's do it. Boop. So this is from, oh, shit. Beautiful. Great use of falsetto there. And the way he just holds that note so effortlessly, building into these strings. Did he get younger? Did his face change between now and then?
我一个拥抱，就安静地忘掉，我这样就很好。
So that was a track from Eason Chan titled Isha's Song from the Arcane anime or something like that, based off of League of Legends, if I'm not mistaken. Is it off League of Legends? I think that it's a beautiful piece. My understanding of it is that it is talking about the importance of someone not allowing their innocence to be destroyed, trying to find their way back to how they used to be. And it makes me think that this is, again, like the realization, I suppose, throughout the anime that maybe it is just so hard and you've got to try and find that peace within yourself to move forward, if that makes sense. I think that's my understanding of it. And it is maybe related to Jinx, the woman in the video that is, like if that is the case. As I understand, they are a focal point for this, if I'm not mistaken. It's a really interesting direction to take with this. I feel like part of what makes the song so effortlessly beautiful is Eason Chan's vocals. They're just gorgeous in the sense that there's such a warmth and body to them because of his skill as a singer. But also, you have a track where it's just, he harmonizes so neatly with the surrounding arrangements whilst having a voice of his own that is so easy to listen to. Part of it is the dynamic range of it. He's not the same loudness of all the time. Sometimes it's also just the little nuances, changes in intensity of the different notes that I really appreciate. There are adjustments that are made throughout that I appreciate. It's a song where, if I go back, you have that quiet guitar there strumming alongside Eason, just sort of set in the mood for it, kind of desolate and empty, kind of like the desolation that is discussed later on within the piece. You have the wind blowing, as if you're left alone in the middle of a battlefield or something like that. After everything has occurred, you move on a bit further. You have these woodwinds and these string sections and the power of the low end of the piano building things up and propelling you forward. Propelling you forward. And it's stunning how they managed to fit all that in to this audiovisual experience in a way that was cohesive. You almost get more joy as Eason gets younger throughout the video, almost like we're finding that innocence, that wonderment through time itself. There are these unexpected, interesting changes within the arrangement, these unconventional chords that are chosen to sort of illustrate the unpredictable journey that they're in, of a sense of wonderment of realizing that they do not need to be as jaded as they are, and that there is an alternative to getting beaten down by the environment that they are in, even if that is not the most easy thing in the world. And you kind of continue to build with the drums coming in, a lot of power behind them, the full body of the kicks and snares and cymbal patterns, never overcomplicating it, but done in a way where, again, it's commercial grade studio production with a theme that is like, it's a through composed track that is trying to get you from that point where you are unhappy and miserable and feeling alone to a point where you can express a sense of hope, or at least be enchanted by the environment that they are trying to create. But the studio recording, the mixing and mastering, the way that all the instruments were captured, the way that Eason's vocals sit in the mix, and the stereo field and just how it shines and shimmers, and there's no weird resonances or quirky bits. Like, there's no harsh, if there are harsh textures, they're momentary and they're resolved. You inevitably and invariably get to a conclusion at the end where it feels as if we find a solution, even if, again, it is not easy to enact. It's nice and loud without pumping. It's what I expect at this level from these companies all round. I just think it's really special, and I feel like it's like open enough story-wise as a closing comment that most people could appreciate it without needing to understand the story of it. But I feel like if you know the arcane stuff, then it's going to be even more special. So I think this is a stellar performance from Eason-chan. I think that this track works best as a repetition of the main motif with adjustments and subtle variations, but as a main idea that is just growing throughout it, almost like you're growing with the hope that you have. But thank you to Rufo for putting this track through. I appreciate it. The track through, I appreciate it. What else do we have? Do we have anything else? We do. Sunday Corn. Thank you, Sunday Corn. I appreciate that. Let's go to Kofi. You're welcome. Enjoy. There we go. I'm just sending that through to Rufo as well. There we go. We've got another one from Art as well. Thank you to Art for that. Now that we've actually got things properly handled with the live stream. And by the way, Sunday Corn, if you're watching this, your Patreon video will get done before the end of the month for sure. I have got them all sorted. They will be done before the end of this month. So no worries at all on that front. I appreciate the support there as well. So this is from Art Noxon. What does Art Noxon have for us today? Hey. I remember Sean Okendo. We've seen him before. We've seen him before, Art Noxon. I remember that. I think we've reviewed him like a little while ago, to be fair. But let's do it. Let's go. So this is Always Remember Us This Way, cover by Lady Gaga, but this is Sean's version. Or Sheen's version. Sheen? Sheen or Kendo? Is it Sheen?
California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Lovers in the night, poets trying to write. We don't know how to rhyme, but damn we try. 'Cause I already know
That vocal fry is amazing. Sup, Judith? How you doing? Great decoration of the keys in this part. It's great to have the piano finish it out. I think that this track was well handled by Sean. Thank you to Art for the confirmation on the pronunciation of that. I feel like this track is about someone who is looking at the current situation they're in with another. And this was the film where Lady Gaga was playing music with someone else, right? And there was a big movie at the time. I never watched it, but I vaguely remember it being very successful, and this song was everywhere. It's a meaningful track. I think that the lines talking about the band stopping playing and kind of wishing that it would be the way, this would be the right way that we remember things. I think that's something that's very kind of personable and very touching. I feel like people can relate to that. The vocals from Sean here are really good. There are parts where I could not understand the words. Like in the mid-chorus or mid-verse, second verse. There was just a lot going on with the actual expression. There was a lot going on with the way we were expressing the words, and I feel that that expression potentially made it more difficult to understand what we were trying to say, which is a shame because you got the feeling of what was being brought forward, you just couldn't confirm it. Everything outside of that was fantastic. I think that the vocal fry we exhibited and on points was really tight. I think that the way we navigated the chord progressions and paid homage to what Lady Gaga did there was smart, whilst also, again, trying to make it our own with bits like the vocal fry and other directions in regards to the tail ends of the melodies and stuff like that. I think the track at 3 minutes 40 is probably very, very loyal to the original. I'm not sure if there was a guitar solo in the midpoint or the end point. I think the guitar solo was done well. I think the way it was performed was solid. The way that it was mixed into the track felt a little bit awkward to me, maybe because it needed like a little bit of reverb or delay, or like there might have been needed to have been a little bit more filtering of like the low end in order to get it to sit better in the mix. But I still feel like it was a solidly produced track that made the most of the surrounding instruments. If we go back to the start, it starts with keys, and you've got that piano accompaniment that occurs throughout. Is that an 808? Or is that a bass? If that's an 808, that's an interesting choice there. But a predominant focus within this arrangement is on the keys, with that low bass resonance simply being a reinforcement of the root notes within the progression there. And the drums were fairly minimalist. The guitar solo reinforcing certain notes, the scales and melodies in that higher end without trying to overcompensate or overcolor it, because the vocal point of this, or the focal point, is Sean. But I still think the transfers and the two occasions that the lead guitarist came in were slick. And to finish the song off with the piano as well was a smart move. I think that we needed to to balance it like that, because it's just, it came in as it goes. And you kind of are left with the piano like you were at the start to remember it by. I think that there were several different chord progressions and melodies throughout that, when you put them together, were pleasant to listen to, very warm and caring sounding, majorish in tone, a bit of sadness occasionally with the triads, with the minor triads, but nothing where we're trying to sort of like overcomplicate or make it a little bit too sort of like murky. I think part of the reason for the focus on the triads, in addition to the arpeggios on the right hand, as well as a little bit of the zest of the overdriven or distorted guitars and the leads, is because this is meant to be a nice sounding song. I think if you put extensions in it, it would have overcomplicated it. And as I've said, like, it just would have seemed like we were trying to add too much to the mix. Too much coloration in those upper end. But I think the fact it's sort of because of a lack of a driving force within the percussion, it kind of left us almost simmering with what we were discussing, which I think was a smart move. And I feel as if the theme overall is meant to be a kind sounding one that does sort of sparkle in the mid to high ranges and doesn't want you to sort of like be too down in the dumps about the fact that you might not have what you have forever. The studio recording, mixing, mastering is good. Again, I feel like you could have done some like low end filtering on the guitar to make it sort of like sit a bit better in the mix, and there were parts where I couldn't hear the vocals clearly. But I think that could have potentially been due to the fact that again, we just were expressing more than we were singing at that point. But also we wanted to put our own feel into it, and that's fine too. Yeah, nice and loud without pumping, etc. It's good. Thank you to Art for putting that through. I feel like it's a solid cover. It could. There's a million and one ways you can screw up a cover of a song, and I don't feel like we made any of the fundamental errors that can kind of come into play at that point. You know, I enjoyed it. Hopefully, everyone watching is having a good day today. Got Sunday Corns one next. Gonna have to go look up a thesaurus and figure out an alternative to overcomplicated, because I've been saying that a fair bit today. Now this track from Sunday Corn is Deepal. What we got? New pants. People without ideals don't get sad. There we go. Well, to be fair, you did have that Sunday Corn. You had the English version of it here, anyways. I've got the lyrics in here too that I'll have a quick check through when we get to that. Let's go. Let's do it. What do we got? And you're welcome, Art. This is a live show. So just remembering, of course, that because this is the $5 song requests, we'll be listening up to the 5-minute mark. If there is a longer song you want reviewed, you can go through the Patreon for it if you want monthly videos, or Fiverr if you want a one-off. I think I've reviewed this before, but it'd be good to hear it again. Great transition there. Now, how are we going to develop it from this point? The seventh chord in that harmony kind of makes it sound melancholic, but I dig it. Great. It's great to come into a solo at this point. We've gone past the 5-minute mark. I just realized. Sorry about that. I got lost in it. Wow. Wow. That's the mark of a fantastic song, where you just kind of get lost in it and just kind of get like into your own heads and your own thoughts. And it's wonderful. So I'm simultaneously apologetic, but also kind of happy because the song made me feel like that. This was People Without Dreams Aren't Sad by New Pants. I'm just having a quick look through the lyrics just to have a think about this. The lyrics are wild. I'm not going to go extensively into the lyrics here because it's not something I usually do through these reviews. Like, I'm not going to sort of like spend 5 minutes like talking about them. But I would recommend, if you're unfamiliar with what this track is about, to have a look through lyrics because they're incredible. They're really eloquent, wonderful things. My understanding of this track on face value is that it is, and thank you to Sunday Corn for the lyrics, by the way. It's about someone who is looking at the city around them and kind of seeing things fall apart. And they just kind of see everybody rushing around, and it almost sort of invokes a sense of nihilism. But then they're also realizing that if you just give up, or you just kind of like lose hope or faith in it, that you might even become part of the problem. People without ideals don't get sad. It's almost, I suppose, saying, yeah, people without dreams aren't sad, is that you have to have hope for something in order to feel something. Otherwise, Yeah, is it saying that you shouldn't hope for things and that you should just accept that things aren't going to get better? Or is it saying that that's the price you pay for thinking things can be better? I'm wondering if it's just like a social commentary thing as well on like the place where they are, the way things have changed and stuff, how things used to be when they were younger versus now. But either way, I think that the story is intriguing. The vocal performance from the singer is wonderful. They did really well expressing themselves on stage. It was a type performance. It was either quiet or loud. It was either like, it was go big or go home in the chorus sections where the synths come in. You've got the multiple guitar parts, the bass, drums, etc. Or you have the slight kind of quiet sort of strum guitar bits. They're very, very fragile and a bit of vulnerability there, kind of talking about a quieter period there. We're more sort of introspective and we aren't crying out. I enjoyed it a lot. I feel like just that A-B side thing was very effective. Just an easy. And granted, we didn't have that until like halfway through because we had that first chorus that was a bit quieter before we came up, but still, no, just really smart stuff. Clearly, these musicians understand how to do less with more. The guys got great vocal technique, comfortable in the mix. The harmonies that we had there as well. The crowd singing along was also really dope. But they were compelling, and the performance seemed authentic. And the way that the track was structured over like the 5 or so minutes was really neat as well. Like we had, again, just if we go back to the start of the song, again, like everyone knew the words there. Everyone knew the words. And there was that kinsmanship there. Like people could relate to each other. And that's the power of music. The power of music is being able to sort of relate to each other and establish that foundation, that similarity there in order to really kind of get places with it. Relatable, but like not in a generic kind of cliched way. The extensions and the chord progressions are bittersweet sounding. Almost like, again, it's great to have dreams, but they will kind of upset us, especially when they don't come to fruition. But it's worth having them in the first place in order for things to potentially get better. The drums, when they came in working with different 8th and 16th note parts with snare fills and stuff to kind of go between transfers is great. I like that the drums aren't there all the time because I feel like if the drums were there all the time, it would just be too consistent in regards to dynamics. The bass line as well, being a bit more, not always there all the time, just allowing things to float in the mid to high range. It's a nice sort of like awareness of when to pocket and when to sort of show your cards. The synth, the way it sort of waited for its moment as well there to sparkle and add a bit of coloration in that mid-range to go alongside some of those sort of guitar parts and its vocals as well. And of course we had the guitar solo in that 4-minute mark, which was dope because it worked with octaves and navigated around the scale shapes really effectively. And the scale shapes, should I say? Scale shapes. There we go, scale shapes. I'm learning to talk properly because of this caption stuff. The scale shapes were navigated really effectively, and it kind of taught you to just expect that weight to go towards that, like you're floating there with them. It just seemed like everyone was in tune with what was required in order to make this a really special song. And I don't think you could have done much to improve it, really. I don't know what you could have done to improve it. I think thematically, again, that bittersweet nature I mentioned with the major 7th chords was tight. I think if you'd stuck with normal major and minor triads, it would have just been too generic and it wouldn't have had the weight that it did. Yeah, it was chill, man. It was chill and it was serene, and it discussed some harsher, kind of darker stuff, but in a way that was very easy to listen to. And I think it was really fantastic how everyone interacted. It was a mutual shared moment with everyone involved. It was awesome. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering was commercial grade. No issues with the leveling of the various instruments in the mix. It was dope. Thank you very much to Corn Sunday for sending this track through from an act named New Pants. Titled Dream. People without dreams aren't sad. That was cool. I'm glad I had the opportunity to listen to more of it. Yeah. Oh, right. The uneducated man is not sad. He won't be sad. He can't be sad. Yeah, basically. So it's also inferring that if people are ignorant of the problems and stuff like that, they can't be sad. So clearly it's talking about issues with the social climate and stuff like that. And I think that that's important with music too. You can't just have happy stuff. It's just not real, you know, to be happy all the time. But we've got 2 more requests. We've got one from Judith. Thank you, Judith. I appreciate that. What is your request for today, Judith? Forbidden Colors by... I'm not sure. We will find out, though. And we have a link as well. Thank you for sending through lyrics as well, Judith. I appreciate that. I'll have a quick look through them before we get into that. But yeah. Oh. More Rain Foley. Tat Ming Pair. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gonna just... That's okay. I have. Thank you. We're all good. Is that their voice? Ooh. Interesting oscillating of the synths in the background. Click track in the background?
內心的色彩。 讓我就此消失這晚風雨裡，可再生在某夢幻年代。
How do you describe this track? It's a very unusual one.
窗邊雨水拼命地侵擾我睡，又再撇失亂髮堆，無需惶恐，你在受驚中淌淚，別怕愛本是無趣。
Crazy. Okay, so what is just gonna have a quick look through the lyrics. All right. Little background, Ming and Hawk are openly gay, and they're both no longer active in Hong Kong because of their outspoken attitude against the government. All right, so like with what I've read in the vocals, Judith. So I think this track is about people who feel like if they are themselves, they're going to be smothered, and they just want to be able to love in their own way, but they are unable to do that, and they are worried about the rain outside. They're worried that they will disappear. They're worried about that. I think that itself is, there's a sense of intimacy there, and it's kind of chilling at the start and the end, how they're just singing alone. And you have this overall feeling with this track that is really unsettling, and it's really uncomfortable. Not in a way where I feel like it's a lesser experience, but you get the feeling that something is not quite right. The vocal performances here are delicate, and the melodies make sense, and so do the harmonies, and I feel like vocal technique is well observed. I've got no complaint about how it was sung. It's gorgeous. It's a nice contrast to some of the more industrial textures that are going on in the background in the accompaniment. I think we had a way as well of navigating the complicated harmonies within the arrangement in terms of, you know, some of the extensions and maybe like flat fifth, seventh chords and whatever have you, the kind of unusual arpeggios and triads we had within that. It was done in a way where there were also several different chord progressions and bass lines throughout the track, or variations in the tail ends at least. And they made it seem a bit more exotic and forbidden. But yeah, no, we did really well expressing ourselves authentically within this. And it did seem like something we were a little bit nervous to sing about, but we carried that through there in a way which was effective. The track at 5 minutes 10 is well handled. It's well fleshed out. Again, the singing part at the beginning and end helped to narrow the track down to potentially more of a 4.5 minute time frame. And I feel like with the various verses and choruses we had within there, as well as the instrumental sections, that was totally fine. The guitar parts we had there, the arpeggios of the steel strings, as well as the occasional upper octave shimmers there, playing lead lines as a call and response to the vocals, that was cool. They weren't there all the time, but the way we kind of carried with pedal notes there, I had some sort of like Latin kind of flamenco flair, like with some of the choices there was kind of, again, it was more exotic sounding. And then we had some oscillating synth textures, almost like little which were kind of added a bit. There was tension there. It was like a noise there, almost like, and you had like the time going backwards and forwards in the midsection there, almost like it was inferring that our freedom was ticking away. The bass line reinforcing the root notes. The drums, more of a background aesthetic there, not particularly dominant within the mix, more sort of providing, it's providing a ground beat, a sense of movement without being too strong. It wasn't trying to be sort of too in your face about it, and I think that that's clever, in the sense that they weren't trying to shove their message in your face bluntly. And the occasional synths on the sides there were an interesting reflection of dynamic of the stereo field, as well as simply a little bit of quirkiness or sauciness to sort of like extricate from the main leads in the center there. There were some things, the theme overall was one of tension, almost like a forbidden love, almost felt like you were drowning within it through the tension of those harmonies. But it was also more gentle, as if we were trying to listen to this difficult conversation carefully and respectfully. The studio recording, mixing and mastering, given that I think this has been uploaded a few times and there's a little bit of digital fragmentation there, still sounds really top notch. I think there was an adequate amount of dynamic range. The vocals were handled well. The various instruments were leveled well on the frequency spectrum with no weird resonances in the stereo field, or vice versa. Nice loud without pumping. Great track. Thank you to Judith for that. I enjoyed listening. I didn't enjoy the fact that they were struggling, but I did appreciate the way they were handling things in regards to creating an authentic experience for the listener. 1988. I imagine that was probably a tenuous time to be gay. It's never really been easy being gay, to be fair. You know, it was in older times. You hear stories of back hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, and being gay was more accepted in certain cultures, but we're just people they can't fucking keep to their own business, you know? Well, you know, like, again, I'm not going to get into a conversation about it, but I also think that if you have an issue with gay people, it's just bullshit. You know, fuck off, keep to yourself. Just stay out of people's shit, you know? Anyways, moving on. Thank you to Art and Oxen for this request here. Live stream. This is Regret of the Times, a rock song by South Korean legend Seo Sir Taiji. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's go. All right. Sir Taiji. Regret of the Times. Let's go. What do we got?
2008년도 한 해 많이 맺혔죠? 완전 풀어보자고. 자, 2008년 시대 유감.
Oh, that's fun. It's kind of a thrashy tone on the guitar, which makes it sound even heavier, you know? That would have been awesome art. How do I approach this song? I mean, it seems like everyone was having a fun time, and it does capture a lot of the essence of like the kind of pop rock, alt rock stuff going on in the mid 2000s. By the way, yeah, I'm glad that you had a good time, Art. I'm glad that you had a good time at the concert. It does seem like they had a lot of energy. The rain. I feel like if you get, yeah, the rain's fun, man. It's fun. It's just great people having a good time with it, you know? Having fun. So this track, apparently according to Art, no subtitles but lyrics are about society needing to change before things spiral out of control and humanity is lost. It is a fun rock song. It is a fun rock song. I think that there is a way to handle conversations like that. And if you are too sort of down the dumps with it or too sort of aggressive with it, it can turn people off. So I think making a fun rock song out of it kind of encourages people to have fun with the concept and have a conversation in a way that is not too confrontational. So I think it's really well handled. Thank you for the description, Art. I really appreciate you helping me figure that out. The vocal performance from the guy singing, as well as like everyone else involved, was tight. I think it was, again, that kind of mid 2000s pop rock, kind of alt rock, pop punk, alt rock kind of aesthetic there. We were kind of singing, kind of sort of yelling it out, sort of screaming it out. And we weren't trying to be too flamboyant, or we weren't trying to over embellish it. It's a song where just we wanted to tell our story, show that passion for it, and kind of get people bouncing around, which I think this managed to succeed to do. The track at 3 minutes 22 was really well fleshed out. There were lots of different guitar riffs and bass lines and points where you paused, and it was a very dramatic song in that regard. It wasn't like this is this idea we build on for the entirety of the time. You had a lot of different aspects to it. You kind of had like the main theme with the anthemic lead guitar work, working with like octaves, and you know, it soared away like a bird, and the rhythm guitar, bass, and drums propelled you forward. And you had like drum fills working with various sort of 8th and 16 patterns here. Lots of different almost chromaticisms with what was going on with those power chordal parts on the rhythm section, the bass line following along to it really loyally. The drums, yeah, with a variety of different patterns here to kind of keep in groove with what, in step with what the vocalist was doing, because that was still the focal point. I couldn't really hear the keys too much. I'm looking through it. No, I couldn't really hear the keys too much. There could have been an additional thing that was going on with the guitar parts, maybe in the mid to upper register. It's just that I saw keys, and I just wasn't sure where that was. I might have missed it. There might have been a synthy thing that I didn't missed on the scope back, but still, I feel like the combination of different power chord elements mixed with the different bass and guitar drum parts, mixed in with the quality of the vocal performance and the crowd absolutely loving it, and with the harmonies and melodies and rhythm parts intertwined, you have a theme that again, if the vocals are about what art is discussing, if they are about that, it's inviting people to have fun whilst talking about it, and there's energy and drive and passion behind it. It's kind of groovy. There's a great sort of, it's not predictable either. Like, you've got lots of change to kind of keep people engaged and entertained throughout. It's a really well written track, which is more like an adventure song. And I think that they handled the studio recording, mixing, and mastering really well as well. That was really tight. Don't know what else to say about it, really. I feel like, yeah, I can understand why people enjoyed it. I feel like if you understood the language, it'd be even more meaningful. But with that in mind, this was my review of this track from an actor named Sir Taiji, titled Regret of the Times. And I feel like that's probably my reviews for today. I'm going to close the queue now after that track. I'm going to go and close the queue now. Yeah, I've done all the reviews for today, which is cool. Yeah. You're welcome. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day today, and you know, stay cool. And I'm gonna have I closed the queue? You're welcome, Judith and Ara. It's all good. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next live stream. Spiderhands out. 3, 2, 1, and boop. There.